Hey to all my gods and goddesses, and welcome to this week's episode of Confessions of a New Age Goddess. As always, I'm your host, the New Age Goddess herself, Melissa. This week, we're going to talk about the topic I know you've all been waiting for. What is Reiki? I get this question all the time. Melissa, what even is Reiki? Well, simply put, Reiki, it's a form of energy healing that I'm attuned in. And I am a Reiki master. And to kind of break that all down, simply put, Reiki basically stands for Universal Life Energy. So the beginning of the word, REI, stands for Universal, and the end of the word, KI, stands for Life Energy. KI can also have the same meaning as Chi, spelled CHI. When someone says, oh, that's good for your chi, they're really saying that's good for your energy. And it is a Japanese healing technique with the use of spiritual guided life energy. And Reiki itself is a healing energy that gets sent to the different energy centers in your body. They're also known as chakras, and you do have 7 chakras. And basically what happens is the Reiki master sends their healing energy to the 7 main energy points or chakras in your body. And each chakra, you could really get pretty detailed with the meaning of those, but to give a brief summary, each chakra represents a different color of the rainbow. And it goes from red to purple, starting at the bottom of your body to basically the top of your head. It really starts at the seat of your body in terms of the main chakra. And they each relate to a particular set of emotions or physical parts of your body. And a Reiki master is the person who has received these sacred attunements or symbols into their person in order to transfer this energy healing. And I myself, like any other Reiki master, did receive my attunements from a Reiki master teacher. And when you're learning about this modality of energy healing, you do need to become very knowledgeable about the chakra system, about how they operate, and really how to help regulate the different energy centers as well. And this healing energy is sent to the different energy centers in the body to help regulate and align the vibration in that area. Because when a center is out of alignment, it can either be out of alignment due to it being blocked, meaning that the energy is really not flowing in that area, or it can also be overactive, where there's just too much concentrated area in one part of the body. And basically, when your body is working in alignment, in optimal energy levels, then everything is functioning at the highest degree, and you're really reaching optimal frequency. And this definitely helps you better to manifest, to get clear-minded, to not overthink, to not get stuck in your head. It really is just a good base to start out with, and you can really grow and progress from there. And then the next question I always get is, Melissa, how did you even get into Reiki? So really how it all started for me is I was, kind of going through a turbulent time in my life and found out about Reiki. So I signed up to get a session myself from a Reiki master, and it was really such a life-changing experience. She really gave me that sense of calm and relief that I was looking for. And the whole notion of energy and energy movement made a lot of sense to me. And it really kind of was a great way for me to branch off in things I was already doing, such as meditation and yoga. And I just felt not only calmer, but I felt more energetic because I kind of felt that energy transfer from the practitioner to me. And it made me more clear-minded. It made me more kind of able to process the phase of my life that I was in. And it really was a sense of healing. And I just knew from that experience that I wanted to learn how to do Reiki. I wanted to give other people that same sense of calm that I felt. And I was just really curious to learn more about it. Okay, then the next question I usually get is, hey, what do I need to know before I go into a session? So basically, besides understanding what Reiki is, before you go into a session, a couple questions that I would be prepared to answer would be, hey, how is your body working physically? Do we have any physical elements that we want to work on? Is anything bothering us at the moment? Then also, where are you mentally or emotionally? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling depressed? Did maybe a traumatic life event happen? Just kind of how are you handling things at your present state? And then what needs to be approved upon? What are some things that you're like, hey, I really want to remove this block, or it's really hard for me to get motivated, or I feel like, I'm being overly sensitive right now. Whatever it may be, we can kind of dig into why that's happening and then kind of go from there. And then I think the last question to kind of round things off, since we kind of went over the weaknesses, let's look at your strengths. What is working well? Because if one center in your body or one part of your life is working well, then you already know how to kind of take control over things, and how can we duplicate that and kind of have that thrown into other parts of your life that do need a little bit of help at the moment. And then another question everyone always wants to know the answer to is, how am I going to feel during the session and then after? So pretty much overall, you are going to feel calm, relaxed, sleepy, and not in the sense of, I'm going to fall asleep, but more when you just feel kind of like that nap feeling where you're really relaxed and maybe you could fall asleep, and it's not sleepy tired, it's just sleepy relaxed. You might feel a little bit out of sorts, out of the mind, separated from your body, and just overall chill. And then after sessions, I have had people cry. Not everybody, but a lot of people do cry because you are getting that sense of relief and release as well. You're kind of releasing, could be anything from a physical ailment to an emotional release, and etc. And you also, when you're receiving the energy, you do get this warm feeling. Some people describe it to that tingly feeling that you might get from listening to an ASMR video, or that buzz feeling you get from drinking. It's kind of that warm, encompassing feeling that you get when you receive a hug. I think that's really the easiest way that I can describe it personally. Okay, so next, I myself as a practitioner offer both remote Reiki as well as an in-person Reiki session, and they do each look a little bit different, so I kind of wanted to break down each one to let you know what a session with me would look like. So a remote Reiki session, what would happen is we would meet up through video chat, and really the point I want to get across with this is Reiki can be sent remotely. We do not need to be in the same room together, and that's because energy is fluid. Energy is kind of everywhere, and as long as you're sending energy with intention, that's what really makes it the healing process that it is. And I would think of it the same way as you would a prayer. You can send a prayer for someone and they don't need to be standing right next to you in order to receive that prayer. So basically what happens when we do meet up on video chat, a session with me is an hour, and we're going to discuss any physical or emotional concerns that you may have. Kind of those questions I touched on earlier. Just what do we want to work on? What's not working physically and emotionally? And what I do is I use my attuned pendulum. And a pendulum is basically a little crystal that is at the bottom of a string. and it can answer yes or no questions. And what I use it for is to kind of do a body scan on you. And what I do is I ask the pendulum how well each of your chakra or 7 energy centers are doing. And the rate of the speed of the pendulum is going to tell me how well they're doing. So if the pendulum is not spinning, when I call out a specific chakra, that means it's blocked. If it's spinning way too fast, that means it's overactive. And then if it's spinning at a healthy space, then we know that it's in alignment. And some of the spins can be pretty weak. That's when we know, hey, it's not blocked, but it could be doing a little bit better. And just really the speed of it tells me a lot, because each chakra center's spin of the pendulum is going to look a little bit different. And that really helps me narrow in on which ones I want to put a little bit more attention to when I'm doing the session. And then after I kind of go over each chakra center and get a body scan of it, I have a transmitter clear quartz crystal that I hold on to during the session. And really what I'm doing is I'm sending that energy to the crystal, and then that's getting sent to you or transmitted to you. And since I'm not in the same room as you, I'm going to feel how each of your chakra centers are doing while I'm in the session with you. So let's say if your root chakra, your bottom chakra is kind of out of alignment, I'm going to feel that. I'm going to feel like it's a little bit rocky. And then I'm going to know that that feeling is coming from you. And then just to go over the chakras very briefly, because I could do a whole podcast on just that. We do have 7. So the first one is the root chakra. This is the color red. This is kind of at the seat of your body. Then we have the sacral chakra, that is orange. That's underneath your belly button. Then we have the solar plexus, that's at your stomach. That's yellow. Then we have the heart chakra, that's at your heart, and it's green. Then we have the throat chakra, that's at your throat. It's a deep blue. Then we have your third eye or pineal gland chakra. That's more of a lighter blue. And then at the top of your head, we have the crown chakra, and that is a purple violet color. So in a session with me, we'll get into great detail of each of the centers, but that just kind of lets you know which energy centers I'm tapping into throughout your body. And then also what happens is while I'm going through this process, I'll be getting intuitive messages. For me, they come through as feelings. Maybe a word will come to mind, maybe an image will come to mind, but it's more of a feeling than anything. And from there, I can kind of feel what you're feeling so that I can kind of see what needs to be worked on. And then after the session, we talk about what came up. So I'll let you know what I noticed, and then you can let me know what feelings you had, physical or emotional. And then from there, we can kind of talk about a plan that you can work on to continue your healing journey on your own. So if there were certain chakras that were blocked, I can let you know about certain foods you could eat, certain colors you could use, certain essential oils you could use, meditations you can listen to, sound healing that you could listen to, different hertz frequencies, and etc. to kind of boost up the chakras that are a little bit weaker. Okay, so that's basically what a remote Reiki session looks like with me. Then an in-person Reiki session, of course, I live in the Chicagoland area. So if you live in that area, we can definitely meet up in person. I rent out a space. And with that, basically what happens is, before you even start the session with me, I cleanse the room. You can do that a variety of different ways. You can do that by having an essential oil diffuser running, by smudging the place, by using a special spray, by using certain hertz frequencies, whatever I feel is needed to really cleanse that area. And then what happens is you do lay down on a cot when you enter the room. And I do have crystals that correlate to each chakra center, and I will put that crystal by the appropriate chakra center. And then you're laid down, your eyes are closed. I don't touch you. It's not necessary. But basically, again, we talk about what you want to work on, what problems you're having, and etc. Then I do use my attuned pendulum to go over each energy center to see how they're operating. And in the background, there will be sound healing music being played at certain hertz frequencies that really send out healing energy. And then I do hold my hands over the specific parts of your body for certain amounts of time to basically omit that Reiki energy. Prior to me placing my hands over the different parts of your body, I do make sure that the sacred symbols are attuned in my hands, of course. And then afterward, when the session's over, a session with me is again an hour. We will discuss what came up, what intuitive messages I noticed, what you noticed, and then again, we will go over a plan and how you can continue the healing journey on your own. Okay, and then another really great option that I feel like a lot of people don't know about is there is a such thing as a Reiki Share. I've gone to several of them and have really found them to be quite beneficial. So basically what happens at a Reiki Share is it's a group of people. Some people are Reiki masters. Some people are just there to receive the Reiki. And it's a really great option for people who are new to Reiki and kind of want to experience it in a communal way, because then you can, bring a friend with you and whatnot. And what happens is you kind of split up into groups, and certain masters will pair up with certain recipients and kind of give them that healing energy. It's usually you don't get a full hour. Maybe you'll get 15 minutes here, and then maybe you'll pair off with another master, or maybe we'll sit in a circle and one master will give it to a whole bunch of us, just maybe above our head or just at certain points, or maybe you'll have even two masters work on you at the same time, And what's really cool is we're all at different levels. We all have different strong points and different styles and methods on the way we do things. So it's kind of a really interesting experience, and to kind of see what comes up for the different masters and how other people's energies feel different, just really based on the person, right? Because we're all unique in our own ways. And like I said, this is a really good way to kind of stick your toe in, test Reiki out, see how it feels, and then you can really dive deeper with a one-on-one session with a practitioner. So Reiki Shares, very cool experience. I've even seen them at salt caves, places, little salt grottos that have a bunch of Epsom salt in the room. I've always wanted to try one of those places out too. And they actually give Reiki in that area as well, which that would be doubly as healing because Epsom salt is so healing right there on its own. And then just a final disclaimer, energy healing is not a substitute for traditional medical treatments. It's never been an exact substitute. If you do have a serious health concern, always see a medical professional. But really the service is just there to complement any other medical treatment that you're already receiving. And then another cool thing that I do concerning Reiki is I do have my own Reiki Grid in my room on my altar. So essentially what a Reiki Grid is it is a circle of 6 clear quartz crystals, all pointing to a clear quartz crystal in the middle. And then off to the side, I do have my transmitter clear quartz crystal that I use for remote Reiki healing sessions. And underneath the Reiki Grid, we have some sacred symbols along with some other symbols. And I have a list of all of the things that I'm sending Reiki energy to. And what happens is I charge my Reiki Grid every month. I actually charged it today just to kind of keep the energy flowing there so that, whatever I have intentions to send the energy to, it's constantly getting that Reiki energy without me having to physically give it to a specific person, but it can also be sent to specific events, the world, certain matters, what have you. So that's kind of a neat thing too, to have it always running in the background as well. And then if anyone was interested in booking a session with me, either in person or remotely, you can find me on my social media pages. So on Facebook, I'm at New Age Goddess. And then on Instagram, I'm the_new_age_goddess. And you can reach out to me directly on there. A website is in the works, so that'll be pretty exciting. And I'll let you guys know when that's live. And then you could just book a session with me on there as well. But for right now, Facebook and Instagram are the two best ways. So that was it for this episode of Confessions of a New Age Goddess. Thank you for joining me, and namaste.